my opinion, Nigeria has the best team since the beginning of the competition. We saw it because they have a good offensive lineup. We knew that before with Victor Osimhen, obviously the superstar of that team, with Ademola Lookman, who was a little bit quiet in club, but we saw that during this AFCON, he raised his level. But the main surprise for me is to see that defensively, Nigeria went very well since the beginning of the competition. Nwabali, the goalkeeper, was great, and he didn't concede many goals during the tournament. That was my fear for Nigeria before AFCON has started. But finally, Nigeria is the most solid team in this AFCON, clearly. Well, my expectation for Nigeria would be that they, in my opinion, if they want to put the pressure psychologically on Ivory Coast, they need to score quickly. If they score quickly, they will have a gain of advantage. We remember that during the group stage, they won against Ivory Coast. So if they want to put the pressure on Emir Faye's team, Super Eagles have to score very early. We saw that they didn't score too much, Nigeria, during the competition. So yeah, they have to score early to put the pressure.
So do you have any prediction in mind?
Oh, it's going to be tough because for me, Nigeria has the best team and the best way of playing football in this AFCON. But we are in Ivory Coast, we are in Abidjan. The stadium will be warm, will be hot for 90 minutes and even more if the game goes to overtime. So my prediction will be a draw, 1-1, and we go very, very late into the night, and we'll see in the shootout. I will give a small advantage for Nigeria in shootout.
And my expectations of Nigeria versus the Ivory Coast is that it won't be a pretty match. And that is because there's too much at stake for both teams. Coming second, in a way, is the worst possible result you can get. So I think that both teams will want to win, and they will do what they need to try to win. And that will mean the match will probably be rather ugly, as finals tend to be rather ugly matches. Sometimes you get exceptions, 1970 World Cup final, for example, and you get some very, very good matches. But most likely, it will not be a pretty sight for spectators because there is so much at stake. Winning is everything. Now, who's going to win? Well, that's a very, very, very difficult question to answer. Nigeria has basically improved as the tournament has gone on. They have changed the tactics accordingly to who the opposition is. They don't care how they win as long as they win. For example, Victor Osimhen has not really scored many times, and but he has done other things. He has been very, very important to the Nigerian team. But, people are expecting him to score a load of goals. He doesn't need to, because the other team is going to pay a great deal of attention to him and try to mark him out of the game. That essentially means that while he may not be the star of the show, he will be taking attention away from his teammates, and his teammates are going to get the space that creates. And they will be the ones that more likely have opportunities to score more than him. That would be the tactics, and you see it in Nigeria's progression to the final. So Osimhen has basically played a very, very unselfish tournament, and he has put Nigeria's interest above his own. That is the sign of a great player. In terms of Ivory Coast, well, what can you say? In the group stages, they looked dead and buried. They had the wrong coach, they had the wrong tactics. Then you got a coach in, somebody who was expected to do little more than fill the gap, wasn't expected to take Nigeria on in the final, wasn't expected to reach the final, but he did. And he has managed to unite the squad. He's managed to get everybody on the same page, looking as though they want to win, and they want to settle the score and show that you can host and win. It's been quite a long time since anybody hosted and won the Africa Cup of Nations. 2006, I believe, is the last time it happened with Egypt. And before that, it was quite a long time as well. Then you have the situation of the last match, the Ivory Coast in the semi-final. They became the first team to actually score, who were hosting, the first team to score in a semi-final since 2006. That is remarkable.